All right, my reaction to the Lakers draft. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't really know who Adou Thiero is. I looked at the highlight reels just like everyone else did. The kid looks good. He has all the measurables, right? What I'm impressed with about Adou Thiero is I'm not even going to front like I saw him play. I haven't seen him play outside of the highlights, just like most of you haven't seen him play outside of the highlights. I'm impressed because I know that a kid who was 5'8" in high school, right, as a freshman in high school, and then was, 6'2" or whatever, is like a junior or a sophomore, whatever it was, right? You have to work harder when you're shorter. You know that. It's a fact. It's a fact of basketball. It's the same reason why I get so pissed when I hear talking heads say, oh, we need a small ball 5, or we need a stretch whatever, right? I get pissed about that because there are measurables in the NBA that are finite, right? And it is so understood that height matters in the NBA. It's not until the Golden State Warriors came and upset everything with 3 of the best shooters in NBA history that people started to act like they have no understanding of the game. The game is the game, and it's going to be the game tomorrow, right? Everything is going to go back to what it was. It's just that we just went through a little window for about 10 years where the big man wasn't valued, right? But get back to what I was saying. Adou Thiero was 5'8" as a freshman in high school. My son is 5'8", and the fact that he worked at it, he was willing to work at it, right? Because when you're 5'8", you got to work. The bigger you are, the less you have to work. It's just what it is. The frequency of 5'8" men as opposed to 6'9" men is night and day, right? Well, we know that this dude had to work, and he was willing to work. That's half the battle right there. You get a kid who's willing to work, who loves the game, man, you're working with something. And then you look at his athleticism, it is off the charts. I'll say it like that. While I haven't seen him play a game, I saw the highlight reels. This dude's athleticism is top 0.5% type shit. It's absolutely awesome. And you put a good work ethic with the fact that he is athletic. He's an athletic freak. And then this is the other thing. You got to remember this. He played for Kentucky and then played for John Calipari at Arkansas. Look, if Kentucky brings you in, I remember when Bam Adebayo came out, and I said to myself, whatever he did in college, you have to remember that Kentucky scouted him and brought him in. So whatever he did, you got to think he's better than that, And this dude went to Kentucky 2 years, and then he went to Arkansas and played for John Calipari. And John Calipari is no slouch when it comes to recruiting. As a matter of fact, I heard John Calipari in an interview saying, keep your eyes on this cat Adou Thiero. This dude is that good. And, forgive me if I'm saying his name improperly, But he hyped the praises of this kid. John Calipari is a good scout. If he ain't anything else, he's a great scout, So you take that and you take those things. Again, these are all off the court things. These are all not off the court. His athleticism is on the court. What I mean is that I haven't seen him play. Watching somebody dunk is not watching them play. It's two different things. I haven't seen this dude play. With that being said, what I know just from playing basketball myself, from being an athlete myself, what I know is, without seeing him play, this dude got everything else. He doesn't have a jumper. But you know who didn't have a jumper when they came in the NBA? Jordan had a jumper, but it wasn't what Jordan's jumper became. Jordan was just going to the hole hard as hell back in the day. That's what his thing was. He was never a 3-point shooter. So what I'm getting at is that this dude is a blank slate. in the best way possible, right? He has everything and is missing one thing. If this dude gets that one thing, which is the ability to get a jumper off and then to make it, right? A lot of people don't respect that. A lot of cats can't get a jumper off, you know, especially when you're against like NBA competition. If this dude could get a jumper off and then make that jumper at 55%, yo man, Lakers found one. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. Going into this draft, I wanted the Lakers to get Maxime Renaud, and he was available at number 36. I wanted them to get him because straight up, I'm afraid that the Lakers go and use assets to get a player in Nick Claxton who is averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds a game. I don't think you need to use an asset to get that. I'd rather the Lakers just draft a guy and JJ Redick understand his job and build that player up. Player development. You got 82 games. You got a whole season. And I always say, by game 82, you're not a rookie anymore. You know? You're not a rookie anymore. Yes, will you get better once you have a summer to work out? Absolutely, you will. But by game 82, you should be better than game 1. Which is, again, why I am so pissed at how I think the Lakers kind of sabotaged Dalton Connect. What Dalton Connect was in game 1 through 20, the Lakers almost did their best to make sure he was not as good. You know? I don't know, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, the other thing about this dude is he was a guard. Meaning he is 6'8", 6'9", but he got guard abilities. You know? And I just got through speaking about how, 1, you got to be able to get your jump shot off. And 2, you got to be able to make that jump shot. Yo, man, when you got a dude who's 6'8", right? And they say he's still growing. He might end up being 6'9". You got a dude who's 6'8", 6'9", and he got guard abilities with his handle. And the only reason why he's not making a jump shot now, or what they say is that he grew so much that his hands got so big that he's getting used to the anthropometrical size of his hand versus the size of a basketball, right? He's trying to get used to that. You look at those things and you still got a dude who's willing to work. Yo, man, the Lakers, I mean, respect to the Lakers on this one. I recently have not been inclined to give them much respect in their actions and how active they've been. I haven't given them, but I give them respect on this. And again, I haven't seen them play, but this is another thing. The Lakers didn't move up just to move up. A lot of times you'll say, yeah, this team wants to move up in the draft. For who? Right? Put a name on it. Oh, this team, they really want a 3-and-D. Who? Which 3-and-D do you want? You know what I mean? Or this team, they need a big. They could use 2 bigs. Who? Well, I mean, you act like a big, like freaking Jackson Hayes is the same type of player as Manute Bol. You know? Manute Bol was standing outside shooting threes. Jackson Hayes had nothing of that dimension to his game. The Lakers, the reason why I'm happy is because the Lakers had a target. And they put a name on that target and they went and got that target. I'm cool with that. Like I said, I wanted the Lakers to draft Maxime Renaud, who was available, and they didn't. Okay, I'm not tripping about that, right? Just as long as the player you did draft is the player you targeted, right? And when I say target, I mean you did the legwork. You scouted this dude. You know, you ran some analytics on him and what his future may project to. You know, that's all I really wanted. You know, again, I wanted a center because I don't want the Lakers to blow assets on an average to subpar center. Right? If it's 10.7 rebounds per game, Nick Claxton, man, I wish you would have just drafted this dude and kept your assets. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm on that. Now, this dude, Eric Dixon, right? Went to Villanova. He's an undrafted free agent, if you guys don't know. Yo, man, He's leading. I didn't know he led the NCAA in scoring last year. And I checked his numbers, and this applies to Adou Thiero also. Yo, these cats, their numbers just went like this. And I remember Jerry West, really it was Mitch Kupchak who said this. And I know a lot of you guys don't like Mitch Kupchak, but Mitch Kupchak said this. And I know he learned it from Jerry West, right? If you guys don't know, Mitch Kupchak was the understudy of Jerry West. Jerry West taught Mitch Kupchak. But he said, it's okay if you're a senior, but just as long as your trajectory just keeps going like this, we'll accept you and we'll take you in and we'll work with you. And we know that we potentially got something really good. If your trajectory it went like this, freshman year you were here, sophomore year you were here, junior year you were here, senior year you were here, right? There's nah. But when you got like a Dalton Connect or a Adou Thiero or an Eric Dixon, all those cats, their trajectory goes like that. And I know that's one thing that the Lakers frequently look for, right? What was the trajectory of the player? Did they improve every year? And I checked Eric Dixon's numbers, and this dude improved every year. I think he's a fifth-year senior. He led the NCAA in scoring, and he reminds me of this dude who went to, again, I haven't seen him play. I'm not even going to front. I haven't seen him play. That's why I am not inclined to give you guys a grade. I'd be bullshitting you, But I have seen this dude named Evan Turner play from Ohio State back in the day. And Evan Turner was a number 2 pick in the draft. And he was an older draft pick, right? This was started to be in the era where freshmen started to dominate the top part of the draft. This dude was an older draft pick, but he was good. He was good. I can't say he ever lived up to the number 2 pick overall in the draft. I can't say that. But he was good, And what I see from this cat, Eric Dixon, is a game very similar to Evan Turner from Ohio State. And the dude doesn't seem uber athletic, but he seems super fundamentally sound. He reminds me of an old school player from like the 80s. In the 80s, there were a lot of guys that when they had an open 15 to 20 footer, they were going to knock it down. This dude is 6'8", if I'm not mistaken. He's 6'8", and shot 41% from 3. I think that's a great pickup. Furthermore, it's not like he was a leading scorer in the NCAA and he went to, Phoenix, University of Phoenix or some shit, or Grand Canyon University or something. You know what I'm saying? He was the leading, or some Division 2 or 3 school. Actually, he was leading Division 1 player. But look, either way, he went to Villanova. Villanova is a hardcore, gritty team. Philly is just, I went to college in Philly. I went to Drexel University for a couple of years. And it's just a gritty city, man. It's a gritty city. And he went to Villanova. And again, it's not like he went to some, I'm not shitting on Dayton, but it's not like he went to the University of Dayton or something, or Wright State. You know what I'm saying? He went to, or St. Joe's even. He went to Villanova. Villanova got a rep. Them kids play hard. The program is fantastic. And coming out of there and leading, look, there's not a doubt in my mind that Jalen Brunson could have been a better scorer if he'd gone to, UNLV. If he'd gone to maybe even North Carolina, he could have been a better. No, but he went to Villanova, and Villanova is system heavy. Yeah, granted, Jay Wright, he's not there anymore, but still, Villanova is system heavy. And this dude in that system, 24 points a game in college? So look, I'm going to give a grade just because, but I'm straight up, this grade is not based on what I've seen on the court, because I have not seen these guys play. I've seen them shoot. I've seen them shoot in games. I haven't seen them play. Two different things. You know, like I said, I seen Adou Thiero. I seen that cat dunk the hell out of a ball, man. Oh, that's the other thing about Adou Thiero. I gotta tell you, half the dunks I seen that guy do, it was jumping off his right foot, dunking left-handed. I seen him do layups, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 out of the 8 layups I seen him do left-handed. I seen him do a jump hook left-handed. You know, but then I see him shoot, he shoots right-handed. I was like, yo, this dude is unique. He's different. He, one, probably ain't done growing, right? 2, he's gonna have to grow into his body, you know, into what his new abilities are, right? I mean, look, I'm 5'11", but I could only imagine if, like, over the course of a year and a half or 2, if I was like 6'8", I mean, everything would look different. Everything would look different. This dude, that's what I mean by this dude got to grow into his game, got to grow into his body. But yeah, man, I saw the cat dunking, like half his dunks, he was jumping off his right foot like it was no thing. Like he didn't even have to think about it. Then I seen him do layups left-handed, no thing. You know? Then I seen him shoot right, and I said, yo, this dude is different. And you know he's going to have a better handle than most at 6'8" if he had to play guard all his life, or the majority of his life. He's going to have a more than sufficient handle, you know. But yeah, that's the other thing I noticed about the dude. How often he was jumping off his right foot to dunk, left-handed. And how just seamless it was for him to dunk left-handed, even though he's obviously right-handed. If you look at how he shoots, you know, that's something you can't teach. You can't teach that, man. You know, you can't teach a 6'8" dude with some point guard skills. You can't teach that. And you can't teach a 6'8" dude who was 5'8" and had to learn and bust his ass to be anything when you're 5'8". You know what I'm saying? You're 7'2", you're going to make the high school team. You know, if you put in a little bit of work, you're going to make the high school team. When you're 5'8", you got to work. And this dude did. Anyway, man, so I'm gonna give this draft a grade for the Lakers, but again, I haven't seen these guys play. I've seen them dunk in game. I've seen them shoot in game. I have not seen them play. Right? Highlight reel is a totally different story. You know, anybody could look good, and I could look good in the highlight reel. Anyway, man, I'm gonna give the Lakers an A. You know, and I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'm gonna caveat this. Okay, I give them an A because they had a target, obviously, and they went and got the target. And for that, I give them an A. I hear a lot of talking heads, you know, they say, yeah, we need a 3-and-D wing, or yeah, we need a big. And that's just so stupid to me. It makes no sense because there's a bunch of guys running around that are 6'10", 7'1", right? That's not what you need, okay? When you need a player, name a name. Just put names on the shit. And to have a target means that you put a name on that pick. You didn't move up in vain. You didn't move up to say to everybody, look, we're doing something. You ain't doing none of that dumb shit. You moved up to get a player, and you got the player. And then on the undrafted free agent side, this Eric Dixon, in my opinion, at 6'8", is a fantastic pickup. Again, if you haven't seen him play, what do you know? You know he went to Villanova, and he led the NCAA in scoring. D1, he led D1 in scoring. Dude is 6'8", 41% from 3. You know that. As an undrafted free agent, you got to be happy with that. I mean, think about it. If the dude was, just say, a freshman, and he went to Duke, and he was leading the NCAA in scoring, #1 pick in the draft, right? I mean, that's the type of stuff I think you have to kind of consider. And yeah, man, I give them an A. Now, the one caveat I got to the Lakers draft is, if it was a brand new general manager sitting in that seat, it would definitely be an A. No caveat, right? Because the brand new general manager did not ask for the situation that he would be put in. And that is being bereft of assets. You know, being bereft of the ability to make transactions. Because that's what Rob Pelinka did. Rob Pelinka has left the Lakers in a position where they are the 55th pick in the draft, and that's it. If they want to move up, they got to make trades. You know, he got the team with their hands tied behind their backs. And that is the one caveat I give to this draft, right? So look at it like this. Should this draft have been better for the Lakers? You could argue yes. You could argue yes. And in that sense, I would not give the Lakers an A grade. You know? So, like I said, there's two different ways to look at this. You could look at what they did with what they had. Or you could look at what they did and what they were supposed to have. Because what you do 2 years ago mattered yesterday. Right? That's what the Lakers should take away from this draft. You do some dumb shit 2-3 years ago. You sit out all offseason last year. It touches you right now. Furthermore, it's going to touch you 2 years from now. Right? You make a bad deal or you let good players walk for nothing. Those are assets that you let walk for nothing. Right? That's a bad deal that you had to follow with good assets in order to make it right. So then you look at a day like today, and if you judge Rob Pelinka just on what happened today or yesterday in the second round, you're not really being truthful to yourself. Is it a fact that the Lakers, well, Rob Pelinka only had the number 55 pick? Yeah, that's a fact. Now, how did we get here? Right? How did we lose any assets or the assets that would allow us to move into the first round potentially? Right? All that matters. You know? So anyway, that's the caveat I gotta put on this. If it was a brand new GM and it was not his fault that the Lakers only had the number 55 pick in the draft, it'd be an A grade with no caveat. Given that's the case, it's an A grade and I gotta caveat it. I gotta speak to it. You know? Anyway, that's this clip. I look forward to the Summer League, right? I think that this dude, he looks fantastic. I mean, just from, look, man, I remember when Jordan came into the NBA, and that dude was not a jump shooter, man. He was not a jump shooter. Dude, that's the thing about Jordan in his early years that was so awesome. You know, he was getting, 30, 40 points. And the dude was getting nothing but 2-pointers and foul shots. That's it. You know, the shots he took, it felt like they were 15 feet and in. Sometimes it felt like they were all dunks or layups. I mean, it was just off. The amount of energy this dude had was awesome. And when I watched this Adou Thiero play, you just look at him and it's like, yo, man, he might get in the Summer League and just show out. He got the game to show out. He got the athleticism to just be, look, you know what? It's funny, man. I remember listening to Jerry West talk about Kobe. I'm not likening this guy to Kobe or to Jordan. When I speak of Adou Thiero, I'm speaking just from an athletic pop perspective. That's it, right? Because again, I haven't seen him play. But I remember Jerry West talking about Kobe Bryant. And one of the things he said, and it always stuck out to me, he said, you know what it is about Kobe? If Kobe scores 2 baskets an entire game, it's the 2 baskets you remember that night. That's what he said about Kobe. And that always stuck out to me because I was just like, yeah, damn, man. I mean, how does the great Jerry West assess a superstar? You know? And that's what that Adou Thiero feels like to me. It feels like he's one of them dudes who you're just waiting for something to happen. You're waiting to get out of your seat and say, oh shit. You know what I mean? I used to remember, a lot of y'all may be too young to know Barry Sanders, but I used to watch Barry Sanders, man. That cat, he football player, if you guys don't know, he used to go 2, 3, 4 downs in a row. And it was just, and he get no yards. 2 yards here, might lose some yards there. But you knew it was just a matter of time before that dude broke one. You know, and maybe it wasn't the best strategy, but you are watching, waiting for that dude to break one. Now, how does that relate to basketball? Right? You go on the court and you do something fantastic. It's just 2 points. It's 2 points like this lame over here. He get 2 points. It's 2 points. Right? But not everyone has the ability to make 2 points that pop. To make 2 points that stick out in the minds of everybody. You know what I mean? To make 2 points that are going to be on SportsCenter top 10. Now, I know y'all are saying, okay, yeah, well, it's still just 2 points. Not really. Not really. Because you have to have a certain amount of ability to make, when your baskets are made, right? When you make your 2 baskets per game. Let's say Adou Thiero averages 4 or 6 points a game. Right? But it's the 4 or 6 points you remember. Why is it the 4 or 6 points you remember? Because it was something in the way the dude moved. Right? In the way he carried himself. So when I'm watching that highlight reel the dude got, I'm sitting there watching him saying, damn, yo, I'm 48. I've been watching basketball since 1982-83. Right? I seen Jordan with that kind of potential. I seen Dominique with that kind of potential. Less than Jordan. Jordan was the most aesthetically pleasing athlete I've ever seen in my life. You know, especially like around like 86, 87, 88. You know, his game got mature. By 91, when he won the title, his game had gotten very mature. But man, there was a phase like after his first 3 years, in between his first championship in 91, man, there was a phase, man, where that dude was like, I don't know, man. He was the most, I don't think he's the greatest ever. I think Magic Johnson was the greatest ever. I'll make a video saying why I think that. But he was the most aesthetically pleasing player I've ever seen. Right? Just looking at him and watching him on the court. The dude was magnetic. You know, he was awesome. And he looked good. You know, and I'm not on no gay shit. I'm just saying he looked good. You know? And this dude, Adou Thiero, not everybody could have their 2 points be the points that pop. Right? Not everybody could be the player that, even though they're a rookie and even though they get garbage time minutes, that everyone is staying to watch, hoping he gets in the game. Right? I heard Gilbert Arenas. Was it Gilbert Arenas? No, it was God Shamgod. Right? Was talking to somebody, and another great point guard. And if y'all don't know God Shamgod was a kid out of New York. He went to Providence. Right? I played against him in high school. And and he said something, they said something that made me feel like a total bitch. Because we played against him in high school and he was late or some shit. Anyway, man, when he came in, he was doing some shit with the basketball that was, I never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And everybody was waiting for this dude to come into the game and play. Everybody, including cats on our team. Right? You know, and it's just, I just never seen anybody work at handling the ball like this dude God Shamgod did. He ended up going to Providence, And then he got drafted, but I can't remember who drafted him. I think it was some East Coast team drafted him. Might have been the Nets or something. But this dude was that guy that everybody was waiting to come and watch him play. Right? And it's not like he was great offensively. The dude just had a handle that was magnificent. You know? And not everybody got the talent to be the guy that everybody was waiting to come and watch. This dude, Adou Thiero, yo, he got the talent. You know, I mean, I'm watching these highlights, and I could go pull up highlights from all the players. I've seen a million highlights from Cooper Flagg. He ain't as impressive physically, you know, in a highlight reel. He ain't as impressive as Adou Thiero. He's not. You know, and again, a highlight reel, you could make anybody look great in a highlight reel, right? So it's not like I don't know better. No, I know better. You know, it's just that even in a highlight reel, some dudes just pop. Man, you know, they had this dude, he went to the University of Cincinnati. I can't remember what his name was. But this dude could double pump from the free throw line. I mean, two-handed, all kind. Oh, James Flight White. That's what his name was. James Flight White. You know, physically speaking, this dude was absolutely awesome. Right? I'm talking about he could jump from behind the free throw line and dunk. Right? Double pump, whatever you want, he could do it. This dude was one of the best leapers I ever seen in my life. James Flight White. Again, you watch a highlight reel from him, you think he's fantastic. But you watch him play, and it's a little different story. I rarely saw him get those dunks off in a game. This dude, Adou Thiero, looks like he got the ability to get these dunks off in a game. Right? I'm talking about at University of Cincinnati. I did not see him get these dunks off. You know, he got them off every now and again, but I did not see him get these dunks off. You know, it had to be like a wide open breakaway or some shit. This dude, the Lakers just drafted, he could get it off. You know? Again, I'm getting excited about this dude, man. You know, you watch a highlight reel, yeah, it's always gonna make you feel better about yourself. But this cat, man, I can't complain. You know, if they targeted this dude, I get it. That's the best thing you can say. I get it. You know. Anyway, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Please like and subscribe. I try to do a video. I don't know. Shit, man. I try to, sit down and do one every day. You know, sometimes when things are slower, they're slower. You know. And hey, man, I'm not. I call this site Pure Uncut because pure and uncut means the raw. Yeah, it's a drug term. But it means the raw. And if there's not enough to talk about, I'm not going to talk about it. And I'm not making clickbait either. So anyway, I look forward to Summer League, and y'all be cool. Stay safe out there. Peace.